Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome along to the SFC interviews here with former Stevenage midfielder Jimmy Smith today. So, how's things been, Smudge?
Yeah, good, thank you. Just finished the season now. So I'm just at home with the family, with my two children and my wife. So just a bit of downtime really before everything starts up again.
And then we'll go back to, what was it? It was about 2013, 2014, wasn't it, when you signed for Stevenage? And, what was it about Stevenage as a club that kind of, took your fancy to come and play your football down here in Hertfordshire?
I remember when I was at Leighton Orient, I was there for about 4.5 years, and then my time there came up. And speaking to Graham Wesley, he's very good at getting his players, and I liked all his ideas. Come down to the training ground, the team that he had, and the people that he was bringing in was attractive. And yeah, I was happy to join, and I was looking forward to it.
And you mentioned that you played under Graham Wesley as well. When the real infamous question that I've asked everyone is, what was he like as a boss? And just as I suppose his training methods were kind of what everyone used to touch on, wasn't it? Really.
Yeah, for me, I think he was great for me. I learned a lot from him. Training was hard. You had to recover well, but I think if you gave your all, he liked them sort of types of players really, and I felt that I did that, especially on the training field and within matches. And I think he respects people that do that. So you got to know what he wants, and you got to deliver as well.
And when you made your debut for the club, it was kind of a little bit of a full circle thing, wasn't it? Because you were playing a number of years for Leighton Orient, and it was actually Orient that you made your debut against as well. So was that kind of a little bit of a bittersweet moment?
Yeah, definitely. It was quite strange. I think because the beginning of that season, I think I might have been injured, and like you said, my first game was against Leighton Orient, and I think I actually played right back for that game, up against a few of my mates at the time. So it was a strange one, but I enjoyed it as well.
And in regards to that game, we did lose that game, but what was that like to obviously step out on the Broad Hallway pitch or the Lamets pitch in front of the Stevenage fans as well?
Yeah, definitely. It was great. Our home fans are very loud, especially on the far side as well. So when I was going up and down that wing as well from the right side, you could hear them all the time. Like I said, it was a great experience. Many home and away games with our fans there was fantastic, and especially for that game against my old team, it was a great experience.
And when you signed for the club as well, we'd been on quite a bit of a good run over recent years gone by as well, getting the promotions, and we kind of hit a little bit of a snatch. But how sort of aware were you of the club's rise as well?
Yeah, definitely. I knew that they want to achieve big things. I know what they've done in the lower leagues as well, and coming into the EFL, what they've achieved, and they've sort of kept that sort of core people around at the club as well, like with the manager, with Dino, with John Ashton, Darius, Charles, people like that. That sort of they love Stevenage Football Club, and when you go there, you can feel that from them, and you have to buy into that as well. I felt that straight away when I first entered the building, them sort of characters showing you the way, learning the ropes of what it takes to be a Stevenage player. So I learned a lot there, and I enjoyed my time there.
And then in your third game for the club, it's not normal for you to come into your second or third game and be playing a Premier League side in Everton, is it? But that was a great cup tie as well, and we were unfortunate that day.
Yeah, definitely. We was, like you said, we was unfortunate coming up against some of the best players in the world. You always want to test yourself, and we did that. And the likes of myself and other players within the team, we were buzzing to play against them, and we was unlucky.
And of course, Luke Freeman was the man that scored that day as well, and he was some player, wasn't he? We still is some player as well, even now.
I still speak to Luke now. He's a fantastic player, having a great career. Back then, he also played in many positions, sometimes left back, left wing, up front, even in central midfield. So he can play many positions, and I think you need them sort of players within your squad throughout. Same with other people at Stevenage as well, like Darius and people like that. So we had a good squad then.
And with Darius as well, you just touched on him just a moment ago there, and he used to play sort of left back, centre back. Sometimes you just chuck him up front as well. So yeah, he kind of play a number of different positions, and that was that. When you're a midfielder, trying to find the likes of Darius and of course Francois Oko and
Yeah.
Lucas Akins, they're players that can make things happen, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely, and I think that comes down to the manager as well from Graham Wesley, the sort of bringing them sort of types of players in, because you can say you're going to buy a centre half and he can only play a centre half, but we had people that could adapt and play different positions. I think the only position Darius didn't play was probably in goal. I mean, he played everywhere for us, and we had other players that could do the same thing. And I think that's good, because when you're playing against certain teams, they're never going to know what they're going to get from a Stevenage side on the day. So that was good at times.
And I think if you look at some of those players as well, there was a real lot of talent in there. Um, Luke Freeman that we touched on, Darius, John Ashton. I think
Yeah.
the only reason he didn't play in goal was because of Daisy, and Daisy was fantastic, wasn't he? So
Yeah, it was. Yeah, like you said, we had a fantastic group. I remember going there as well. One of my closest friends, Philippe Murray,
yeah.
he was another reason for me joining the club as well. People like Anthony Grant, who was there as well. James Dunn. Like you said, we had big names, good characters, and people that's been around the game for a long time.
And of course, James has just gone to Southend as well, hasn't he? The last few days, and
Yeah.
he's had quite a successful time at Barnet as well. Just before that.
Yeah, I just see that. I played against James a few times, especially last season when he was at Barnet. Played against him and in the playoff game, to be fair, last season when they beat us at ours. So I've come up against James quite a lot. He's a great guy, someone I get on well with. I wish him all the best at Southend.
And with the FA Cup as well, it's not really too often that you face the same team twice in a season from the Premier League, is it? But that was a great cup run to get through to the fourth round. And what was it about that cup run? There was a couple of upsets along the way. And we were a League One side, but there were some big clubs in there. Like Portsmouth and Doncaster that we beat.
Yeah, we had some great games, and like you said, to get the same team in the other cup as well. We probably wanted someone else, but to play it like at their stadium was fantastic in front of their fans and that. And we gave it our all, but we was unlucky on the evening as well. But like you said, again, playing against massive players, testing ourselves to the max as well, and we were proud to be playing for Stevenage at the time against the likes of them.
And going into some of the moments for yourself, really, you scored your first goal for the club in a victory over Tranmere, and you were playing alongside John Mousinho there as well, weren't you? And Moose, being the man that put us into League One, that would have been a fantastic partner to have in your central mid berth as well.
Yeah, definitely. The likes of me and John worked well together. Sometimes he would want to sit and I can sort of bomb forward and help with the strikers. That's sort of my game. I want to try and get forward and score goals, and we bounced off well with each other. Yeah, and like I said, it was enjoyable times playing alongside him.
And did he have many stories in regards to the time that the clubs have got promotion, and was he still kind of living off the fact that he scored at Old Trafford, or?
Yeah, he used to bring that up a few times. We had to, all right, mate, we know you scored at Old Trafford, so no, it's only a bit of banter sometimes, but no, he's a great lad. Looks after himself very well, and he's a Stevenage legend.
And then we've got a comment here from Russ and Matt. Russ says, "Who was the best player that you played with in your career to date?" So you can answer that one first, and then we'll come to the other one after from Matt as well.
Who's the best player I've played with?
Yeah.
Best player that I've played with. It's quite hard because I've been at 8 teams, and then all depending on what sort of player I can talk about. John Ashton will be up there with one of the defenders that I played with. No nonsense defender, puts his whole body on the line for the team and his teammates. So I enjoyed playing with Ash. I learned a lot from him as well, especially
He was captain, wasn't he, as well that season?
He was the captain as well, and you just knew how much it meant to him. I think going out there every week, the stuff that he used to do daily within the gym, I used to look at him and think I should be tired just watching him. The stuff that he used to go and put his body through, and he just wanted it and so much to win for Stevenage. And he's a character that I still speak to now, and he's a great example to all the young lads that want to make a career at the game.
And the other question from Matt was in regards to you starting off at Chelsea under the first Mourinho era, and just kind of, I suppose he just wants to know what it was like there a little bit as well, and to have all of those sort of world-class players around you.
Yeah, I think when you're training with the likes of Drogba, Terry, Lampard, Essien, people like that every day, you're always going to take little bits from their game and what they do daily and stuff. I think the main thing for me, when I'm looking at a position that I used to play in central midfield, I'd look at the likes of Lampard and why he would score so many goals. And I think
Yeah.
his position of practicing every single day, sometimes alone, sometimes with players. Sometimes players would be gone home and he would just stay another hour or two extra working on both feet, striking the ball, different angles, different distances. I think that's a major thing that some people don't understand, that you have to keep doing that. And I think that's something I learned from the likes of him back in the day.
And that's, it's great as well that players like that, even players that are in the Premier League and, could be said to have made it really, are still putting in the hard graft and the effort as well to kind of get even better than they already are.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the difference of professionalism from different players. Some people get there and then they think they've just made it and then they think they've cracked it and they don't need to practice anymore. These people that want to keep going, keep breaking records, keep winning trophies, they're the ones that do it because they're doing the extra work. And I think it's so clear to see, I think, with them sort of players.
And so just going into that game that I was going to touch on, the game against Tranmere, do you remember much about that goal? And of course, you scored a couple for the club, and the second one was just a few days later, and that was the equaliser against Preston, right, with one of the last kicks of the games as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, I can't really remember the Tranmere game. I remember the Preston game though, because I remember when I hit it, then everyone was just going mental when we got that draw at home. I remember that game because my family come to it, and I think they were just about to leave the stadium when I scored. But yeah, there was great times. Scoring the goals I did for Stevenage was great moments for me.
And that was, Wesley's former club as well. Wesley had been at Preston and then, returned back to Stevenage again. And I
Yeah,
think that was probably quite a bittersweet moment for Graham as well, wasn't it? The fact that we'd
yeah,
come back, we've got a draw there. Yeah.
yeah. I'm sure it was. I think probably even before the game, we would have probably had a meeting about the situation as well and how much it would mean to him and others. So as a team and as one, we like always wanted to do that for each other.
And then let's have a look on here. So um, let's have a look here. After that Preston game, you went on and you scored one more goal as well in that season, being against Walsall, and that was we were already down at the time. But how important was that to kind of still finish with as many points as possible to take into the next year?
Yeah, definitely. I think that there's always a pride comes into it. Like you always want to keep trying to win. I think even in the later stages of them games, I was captain as well. So
Yeah.
you always want to win. You always want to try and be the best and lead by example as well. So scoring them goals and getting them results were very important to go into the next season.
And after that, Wesley actually singled you out for some praise as well. And I know we'd obviously had a very difficult season in terms of being relegated, but was that kind of a nice little touch from the manager there to kind of boost your confidence a little bit?
Yeah, I think I had a good, like I said, I had a good relationship with Graham Wesley. I think he knew that I gave my all every single day. I mean, if you didn't, you'll find out.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be with the group. I think it's clear to say that. And you have to give your all every single day. And I think he knew that I gave him that. I respected him and my fellow teammates, and I just tried to do my best for the team. Unlucky for all of us that season that we couldn't achieve something good with the team that we did have, and we was all disappointed that we did get relegated. But like I said, I tried to give my all, and I think he respected that.
And upon leaving the club, you went on to have a successful career with Crawley as well. And you would have faced Stevenage a couple of times in your time with Crawley as well. And what's that like playing on the flip side at Broadway in terms of the fans and from an opposing side of it?
Yeah, it's something that I've dealt with like throughout my career. I mean, at this stage, I played for 8 teams, and you're always going to come up against your old teams and stuff like that. The fans have always been great with me. When I went to Crawley, I was there for 6 years, so I would have come up against Stevenage again many a times within the league, within cups, and it's always good to always go back, or even if they're coming to the likes of Crawley Stadium, it's good, and it's all part of why we love football.
Absolutely, and of course, what I will touch on now as well is the overall relationship with the Stevenage fans. There was when I said about, I was going to be doing this interview with you, there was a couple of people that said they were going to be able to tune in and wanted to hear from you. So, in terms of the actual relationship with the Stevenage fans, how was that for you as well? Was it kind of,
Yeah,
did you have a good bond with everybody? Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, like I said, all the home games and away games, they're so loud and you can hear them all the time. It's fantastic, and all the lads will definitely say that about that as well. Even beforehand, when you're going to the ground, you see them outside the stadium and that they're so polite. And like to myself and a lot of the other lads will just stay before and after chatting away with them. Like I said, it's a family club and everyone gets on well with each other.
And Matt's put a comment here as well saying best goal was the late equaliser against Preston and went absolutely bonkers in the East Terrace there, and we nearly won it as well. If it wasn't for Lerdy on the line, then yeah, we did. We almost snatched it as well at the end of that game, even after you'd equalised.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I always remember that goal because just the way it came to me and I just hit it straight away. There were so many bodies in front of me and I knew I had to hit it low and I went mental at the time. And I always every time I used to watch that back, I can see my family actually walking out the stadium because
Wow.
they was thinking, oh, this is going to be over now. And then it went in and I can see them running back and I'm like, it was fantastic times.
And that's great as well that they managed to see it as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good times.
And then in regards to, the chairman, Phil Wallace, and some of the other people behind the scenes, did you have many dealings with them, or was it more like, the likes of Wesley and Dino and the coaching staff?
More about the sort of Graham, Wesley and Dino, really. The likes of the chairman would come down now and again, come and watch training, always making an interest into the players, speaking to us now and again. He wouldn't be there all the time, but majority of the matches he would be, but he would pop down within training sometimes as well.
And that's good to have that as well from the chairman, somebody that shows a real interest.
Yeah, definitely. It shows how much he cares and he wants to put an interest into the players, speaking to them now and again. And like I said, watching training as well, because he wants to see what we're doing.
And then we'll go into a little bit about Stevenage from the moment, the kind of present time, and a little bit with Yeovil in a moment. But Russ has put a question there saying about the Euros as well, starting this week, coming weekend. And, who do you think will win the tournament and how do you think England will get on?
I think we've got a very good chance of winning it. I think this is a very good squad that we've got. And I think with the attacking players that we do have, I think we have to use them. I don't think we can be negative with this squad in a way of being too defensive. We've got so much talent going forward, and I think in ways we've just got to be clever in the way we use it. I think, and I think like I said, we've got tough group stage games, but I do believe that we can do it.
And that's where it was quite surprising that the fact, Southgate picked the 4 right backs to start with and the 10 defenders and only the 5 midfielders. It was, when you've got the talent of Jack Grealish going forward and, Phil Foden, Mason Mount as well, even you can put Bukayo Saka into that bracket as well, then, you want to feed those players as much as you can. And to have that many defenders, it's I think Trent might be a little bit of a blessing in disguise, the fact he got injured now having to use another midfielder again.
Yeah, no, I agree with what you're saying, but I also agree with what Southgate said as well about certain players. Yes, he's chosen 3 to 4 right backs, but they're all 3 to 4 fantastic footballers as well that can play in many positions. So within a tournament, we're going to use that. Just like I said about the Stevenage situation throughout a season, many people have to play in different formations and shapes and likewise. So it's the same with England as well. Depending on what formation they play, may play 5 at the back, 3 at the back, or 4 at the back. As long as we apply ourselves in the right way in attack, that I feel that we can, then I think we'll have a good chance.
Yeah, I think that's right as well. I think England will be there or thereabouts, in the semi-finals or the finals as well. There's a good opportunity for England to get far in this competition, as the World Cup showed as well, just a couple of years back. And there's a couple of teams that you've got to be wary of, the likes of Portugal and France, etc. But there's, if you look at that England squad, if England play their game, then they're a match for anybody, really.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, I mean, the amount of talent that's within this squad for this Euros is unbelievable. And I wouldn't want to be Southgate trying to pick that 11 on the first day next week. So it's going to be interesting, but it's exciting at the same time.
And then coming back to Stevenage, really, and Alex Ravel in particular, do you know much about the job that he's done? And, did you ever kind of play with him against? I'm sure you probably played against him as a player. Did you play with him as a player as well?
Yeah, I was with Revs at Leighton Orient. He was for about 2.5 years probably. He was my striker. I used to play up front with Scott McLeish. He did it like back in the day.
Yeah.
Great lad, works extremely hard and knows his football as well. So even when I've not been at Stevenage and I see him get the job, I've been watching him from afar, and he's done well there. It was hard at the beginning for him, but he knew what he wanted to do, and he's tried to do it his way. And I think as a manager, that's what always you got to do, is believe in what you want to do, and he's done that.
And he's had, help with Dean Wilkins and Mark Sampson alongside him as well. Men that have been around the game in different kind of aspects. Mark Sampson with the women, and Dean Wilkins with the likes of Crystal Palace and Brighton as well. So there's two guys there that are very experienced to help him out.
Yeah, definitely, and I think even Russell Slade, I think, helped in ways as well, which was both of ours, like former manager as well. So it's good to get this sort of knowledge from other people that's been in the game longer as well, and that helped Alex a lot. Like I said, he want to do it his own way, but having that sort of guidance along the way as well is massive.
And he had Lenny Lawrence for a while as well, another real fantastic name that's been there and done it really. So he had a real wealth of experience around him all throughout the season, and it was certainly played a part when Dean Wilkins came in. The fact that the club had such a big upturn in form towards the end of last season.
Yeah, definitely. All these people would have helped Alex throughout the season at different times, and he's used them the right way and when he needed them. As you're seeing, as he's taken the job longer, it's taken time for him to maybe sort of play the way he wants to play and also get the results that he needs. And that's helped him for the end of this season now, and hopefully he can build on that for next season.
And when you look at the work that the club do in the community as well, it's that's fantastic, isn't it, as well, especially during the coronavirus pandemic, and the fact that they've got people out there helping out with sandwich deliveries and delivering food, medication, all sorts of essentials, using the stadium as a vaccine hub as well, and like a food delivery hub. So it's all that is good as well, isn't it, to kind of help the club and get the fans back on side again.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I said. Like, it's a family club, and Stevenage want to help as much as they can. Like you said, doing all this for the community is fantastic. All the players and staff getting involved as well, all as one, as a community coming together, trying to achieve and do great things.
And then if you look at last season and the last couple of seasons, you've been under Darren Sarll at Yeovil, and we've got to touch on Lee Collins as well, your former captain, who sadly passed away, and that was that shocked the footballing world up.
Yeah, it's been a tough year, especially at Yeovil, but obviously for everyone as well. Working with Darren, obviously you'd know that from Stevenage. He's a great guy, a great manager. I get on really well with him. I've learned a lot from him this season as well. He's a great guy. Like you said, touched on about Lee Collins as well. Losing that captain, it's been devastating. But we've tried to stick together and try and get through this bad times.
That's right, and it is. I've seen a couple of moments where the Yeovil players are all really together as well, and you had a very tight knit group with Yeovil, and there was quite a few that have played at Stevenage as well. Yourself, Charlie Lee, and Emmanuel Sanupe, and Luke Wilkinson as well. So
yeah, there's a few past players that's at Yeovil at the moment. Also, I think the one that you took from us from last year as well is Romeo Hutton.
Yeah.
He's gone back to Birmingham now, I believe. He done really well at Yeovil as well, up and down on our right wing.
I think Birmingham actually have just released him. I think he's on their release list.
Oh, have they? Yeah. So he'd be up now. So, but he was another great guy as well. So yeah, there's a good core of Stevenage past players at Yeovil, and that's at yours as well.
And with Darren Sala as well, it's you've got somebody there that he's done a lot with Stevenage. He worked in the academy, he worked in the reserves as well, and then obviously with the senior side. So he was somebody that worked at Stevenage for a number of years and was a real good good coach, and still is a really good coach as well.
Yeah, definitely, and he's still very young. You just showed you like sometimes how young these managers become. He was in the youth team when I was playing, I think, for Stevenage under Graham Wesley. So I saw him now and again sometimes. But he built his way up from that little setup, doing the youth team, the reserves, and also managing at Stevenage as well, doing well under them, and then obviously getting his moves to the likes of Watford and then at Yeovil. So yeah, he's a great guy, great manager, and yeah, he knows his football.
And when you look at next season as well, it's going to be great to get the fans back in as well, as you've noticed with the cups towards the end of the season in Europe and the FA Cup, etc. as well, the League Cup final, and the Euros are going to have fans as well, and that's going to play a big part, isn't it? In terms of on match day and kind of just putting some more revenue back into these clubs as well, especially at the lower levels.
Yeah, definitely. All the clubs are going to need this. I mean, this past year has been a nightmare. Playing football without fans, it's pathetic. It's not a game otherwise, because they have to be there. It's part of the game. Whether you like it or you don't, whether they're shouting good things at you or if they're shouting bad things, yeah, it's part of the game, and everyone loves that and enjoys that. And I can't wait for all stadiums to be full again and everyone cheering for their team. It's going to be fantastic.
And as we touched on off stream, you've just left Yeovil as well, but you do a little bit of coaching. So was that something you were at, kind of got started when you were at Yeovil, or is that something that you started just on the back of leaving Yeovil?
Yeah, a little bit of both really. I was doing it a few years ago, but also when I was at Yeovil, the gaffer there, Darren, sometimes was letting me do certain sessions and stuff like that, and obviously learning from him as well. I've been trying to do my badges as well, but some sort of things have come up as well. So I'll be joining Chelsea this summer within the academy, working with them. So I'm looking forward to it.
And that's a nice place to go to on the back of them just winning the Champions League as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it'd be good. One of my close friends is the assistant manager there. So seeing his medal, Champions League medal and stuff like that, he's the same age as me as well, and he's built his sort of coaching level up since the age of 16. So he's done really well for himself as well. He's been there for many years now. So it'd be good to go back there and see him daily again as well.
And then if you look at, I think there's actually it's James Russell is with Chelsea as well, another old Stevenage goalkeeper. Yeah.
Yeah, I know James very well. I speak to him now and again. So it's someone like him who I'll be seeing daily as well. So yeah, it'd be good to see him again as well.
And then let's go into just the last few really to wrap it up. And what advice would you give to somebody getting into coaching? Because there's a friend of mine in particular. He is coaching with Dunmow Town in the lower, right down quite towards the lower end of the pyramid, and a five-a-side team as well. So, what advice would you give to somebody like him who's just starting out, or started in recent years?
I just think you got to be yourself and believe in how you see the game. I think I'll see the game differently to you. You'll see the game differently to me. I think you always got to try and learn from the best, because there's a reason why they're the best. And I think you got to sort of take them sort of people like the Peps, the Brendan Rodgers, Tuchel,
and Klopp, etc.
And Klopp, like why they're successful and what they do regularly, their man management and things like that. I think man management is very key as well. How they conduct their players and how they get them on side and things like that. Not just about training and session planning, but I think it's the way you treat your players and try and get the best out of them. I think that's the main thing, because it's not just 11 players that you're going to deal with weekly. You're dealing with a whole squad, and it's about keeping them all happy and keeping them all on side to achieve something, I think.
Yeah, that's absolutely a great answer as well. And it is about the whole squad. And with somebody like Chelsea in particular, they've got about 4 squads, haven't they?
Yeah, and that's what I mean. And then sort of players, they've got massive characters, all wanting to play, and it's how you deal with that. I think when you're seeing with the new manager coming in at Chelsea, he's rotated a lot, believed in the whole squad, and gave them all a chance. And I think when you see that, and I think as a squad, they look at that and think, yeah, we're with you, and we want to
Yeah.
achieve something. And I think that's why they've gone and won that Champions League this season, because they've all been given a chance, and they've all backed the manager.
And of course, under Tuchel, they were great, weren't they, as well? They went on and I think they had achieved 3 wins in the last 3 against Man City. So that shows that they're certainly going in the right direction. Yeah.
Yeah, it just shows you, formation-wise, tactic-wise, against so-called the best Man City. They've done them twice within the FA Cup and obviously in the Champions League final. So it just shows you his way of going about things and trusting his players. And
they beat him in the league as well. They beat him in the league to it was Chelsea that stopped him from lifting the title. Yeah.
They can't have done them in the final. So yeah, it's a fantastic season for them.
And I'm sure Chelsea will go on. You know, even as a Stevenage fan, somebody that I follow Arsenal a little bit in the Premier League as well. And you know, Chelsea will go on and they'll be up there challenging next season and for the next few years now.
Yeah, definitely. I hope so. They've got a great squad at the moment. Me personally, I think that they probably need a number 9. If they have that, then I think their goals and wins will increase even more, and then that gap between them and Man City will be even closer, I feel.
Okay, and then we just got, I think, about 2 more questions really, and you know, you touched on John Ashton earlier, who's just left the club as well, and you know, we kind of said about him as a captain a little bit before, but you know, that was you know, just talk to us a little bit about Ash, because he's obviously gone on and he's now moved on to Ipswich.
Yeah, he's just a great guy. Like I said, works extremely hard, beyond others at times. And when you see that and when you watch that, you want to get involved in that. That's me personally. And he's someone that after training, I will stay with him, do extras. Sometimes I'll get into training beforehand with him. He's already there. He probably opens the gate at the training ground that he wants to get in there and be in the gym, working on his body.
The first one in.
Yeah, he's the first one in, the last one out. I think you have to have that sort of attitude, and he brings that, and he makes sure that other people looks at him in a way of like, yeah, he's giving his all. And I think for a player of myself, when you see that, you're like, yeah, he knows what it takes to win and to make sure everyone's with him as well.
And then just finally as well, really, you know, we touched on your coaching career and everything, and that's where it's so important now to have the women's game involved, and you know, for the academies as well, and the academy youngsters to be given a chance with the first teams.
Yeah, definitely. All the young players, the boys and the girls, all trying to do their badges and that as well. Like, if you're not going to make it within football, then I think the question for everyone else is what you're going to do next. I think everyone wants to stay in the game, no matter how it is, whether you want to be a kit man, whether you want to be a coach, whether you want to be a manager. And like myself, I want to be a coach and a manager, and I want to learn from the best, and I want to try and surround myself with the best as well. So that's what I just want to do, keep learning, and just trying to be me and put my way into the game as well.
All right, well, we'll wrap it up there then, Jimmy. It's been nice chatting to you today, and yeah, best of luck with Chelsea for the your coaching stuff there, and with everything else that you've got happening as well, and go and enjoy the Euros and enjoy a little bit of a break now, because you've had a turbulent couple of seasons in terms of your playing career with Yeovil as well. A very difficult time there, so yeah, go and enjoy a nice bit of downtime with your family, mate.
Cheers, thank you. Nice speaking to you.
Nice. Cheers, Jimmy. Thanks,
Cheers, mate. Thank you. Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.